Telling my parents about what happened. As I told my parents what happened, I could see that they were shocked. They told me never to return to that place because the ghosts there were evil. They said that the ghosts in that area had immobilized people before, and I was lucky that they didn't take my life this time. Although my parents blamed ghosts, I didn't believe them. I thought about how if it really were a ghost, what would explain the physical and mental happiness I was feeling? What would explain the light radiating around me? How I could know and see things going on elsewhere? Or why my mind felt happy the entire day? Thus, I didn't agree with my parents attributing the numbing sensation to ghosts. Though I listened and I didn't argue with them out loud, I argued in my mind. From then on, I practiced generating the sensation by using leaves, fruit, and flowers as meditation objects. The feeling was exactly like the first time I had experienced it. I often practiced doing this on my own, just for fun. Eventually, it became habitual. But I never told my parents about it again, nor did I tell anyone else about it. The phenomenon would arise very quickly. Wherever I focused the mind, citta, that's where it would happen. All I had to do was use my eyes to stare at something until it became a single point. I would direct the citta to attach itself to that thing, focus on that single point, and focus the citta on knowing and seeing the object clearly until it was stuck in my eye and stuck in my mind. Then I would experience the sensation in my mind, which was focused and still. I didn't allow the mind to sway. I trained my gaze and the citta on a single point, and the familiar feeling would arise. If I didn't want it to arise, I would just get up, walk around, and look at something else. Or I would wiggle my fingers or toes, or rock my body, and the sensation would vanish. I would often practice generating the sensation because I enjoyed the feeling of physical and mental bliss that it brought me. Sometimes, sound would trigger the sensation. To generate the sensation from sound, I would focus on some kind of sound. I would listen to it until it was clear and resonated continuously. I would train the citta on the sound with unwavering focus, and it would get softer and softer until it was barely audible. It was as if that sound was refined and delicate. I focused on hearing that delicate, refined sound clearly. Once the refined sound vanished, the feeling of faintness would arise in the mind. The bright light would occur in the mind, and the ability to know and see things would occur as before. These sensations occurred during my adolescent years because the adolescent mind isn't yet littered with thoughts of sensual pleasures, kama. After I turned 15, it became increasingly difficult to call on the aforementioned sensation. It required great effort because it was a period in which I was becoming a teen, and the mind was starting to become preoccupied with worldly matters. As they say, worldly passions cause the mind to waver. The sensation slowly started to wane accordingly. If I had had a teacher, Ācariya, to instruct me in the correct practice during those younger years, and my practice was continuous, I might have achieved real results. I might have had my questions answered and realized what was going on with the sensation back when I was a kid. But I didn't have a teacher to show me the right path, so I didn't know how to practice in any way. I didn't know what was happening because it was new to me. I didn't know if it had significance to the Dhamma, if at all. I didn't even know what to call it. Telling my story may benefit you in some way. At the very least, it may help you realize that you have also experienced something similar. If you have, go to see a teacher for advice on how to find a way out instead of continuing to play with the light. Enjoyment of this luminescence is a waste of time that further distances you from the path and fruit of enlightenment, Magga Phala Nibbāna, without even realizing it. If you possess supernormal powers, apiññā, or if you attain deep meditative absorptions, Chana Samapatti, you will lose your way even further. the chances of entering the stream of Dhamma will be slim. Instead, you will feed your conceit, mana, and ego, atta, and grow your wrong views, micca titi. You will not listen to others because you believe that you already know everything about the Dhamma. You will consider yourself to be a smart and accomplished Dhamma practitioner. You might even declare, payakarana, yourself to be an Arya Bukkala, or one who has already attained a stage of enlightenment. The purpose of this warning is merely to awaken you to reality. Once I left school, I tended the fields just like the other kids.